You know, it's not just candidates that people will vote for today.
Voters in Georgia and South Carolina have to decide on several big issues. News Channel 6's Kim Vickers is live this morning at Warren Road Community Center, which is a polling location in Richmond County. Kim, it's important that people understand these issues before they head to the polls and vote.
Oh, absolutely. In Georgia, there are 2 constitutional amendments and 1 referendum that voters have to decide on. And it's so important that they know exactly what it is they are voting for. The first of 2 amendments is a proposed statewide homestead exemption, which reduces homeowners' state property tax obligations and protects them from creditors. If it passes, there will be a uniform homestead exemption across Georgia. The amendment will also allow for local governments and school systems to opt in or out of it if they want to. In the second proposed amendment, voters have to decide if Georgia's tax tribunal should be moved from the executive branch to the judicial branch of government, becoming a tax court. The governor would appoint a chief tax judge who would serve 4-year terms. Finally, the voters are asked to approve a personal property tax exemption increase from $7,500 to $20,000. If it passes, all property owned by a taxpayer within a county, except motor vehicles, trailers, and mobile homes with a fair market value of $20,000 or less, would be exempt from taxation. Understanding what these questions are is vital when you go in to vote.
From a poll worker standpoint, we cannot offer any real guidance or advice on those because we don't want to sway the voter from for or against in any way or be misconstrued that way. So the state does provide a handout that is available to the voters that the poll workers can give them in order to review it before casting their ballot.
News Channel 6's Kim Vickers is live this morning from Warren Road Community Center, which is a polling location in Augusta. Kim, in the last half hour, you outlined what those are in Georgia. What about South Carolina?
Yeah, and we'll get back to those Georgia questions again in just a little bit. But first, let's take a look at the constitutional amendment South Carolina's voters are being asked to decide on today. The proposed amendment asks voters to decide if only a citizen of the United States and South Carolina is entitled to vote. The current wording states every citizen of the United States and South Carolina is entitled to vote as provided by law. If passed, it will prevent any future attempts by South Carolina courts to allow non-U.S. citizens to vote in the Palmetto State. It changes nothing for registered voters. Also on the ballot, Richmond, Columbia, and Aiken counties are asking voters to renew a 1-cent sales tax for the next 10 years. This is not an additional penny. It will keep sales tax the same as it is right now. Aiken County also added an additional 3-page question outlining what the money would be used for and asking voters to approve that list. There is good news for voters who don't feel informed enough about the questions when they go to vote.
If you go to the polls to vote and you haven't done your research and you don't know really what you're voting on or even don't care about it, you can skip it.
Now, for more information, those constitutional amendments and referendums in both Georgia and South Carolina, you can just head on over to WJBF.com. Polls are open today from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Live in Augusta, Kim Vickers, WJBF News Channel 6.